Ladies and gentlemen, the time is finally here. The market is erupting, and the time to really focus on a few levels is now. We're going to be talking about them in this video, but the violent moves are on the cusp of becoming a reality. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's take a quick look at the market because Bitcoin just broke well over $71,000 and it is getting close to a significant level of interest. Also, Ethereum keeping pace with Bitcoin. That should be focused on, by the way. Outside of that, yes, altcoins are starting to gain momentum on the 24-hour. We can see it across the board. Now, again, if you hold XRP, if you hold XLM, if you hold HBAR, QNT, whatever the case may be, I do believe that altcoins are also about to steal the show very soon. I do think that this is the last leg on Bitcoin before we start to see altcoins steal the show. We are still seeing meme coins going a little bit parabolic, but I do think that now is probably the best time to be focused on Ethereum and also altcoins as well. I want to interrupt the video real quick to let you guys know that I have officially partnered up with Bybit, the third largest crypto exchange out there, to offer you guys exclusive rewards and benefits when signing up with my link down in the description below. There's over $30,000 plus worth of welcome rewards that could be yours right now. All you have to do is sign up, trade, and utilize the exchange. This is one of the best exchanges out there, 24/7 support. Massive amounts of trading volume in a 24-hour period. They have access to pretty much any market that you can think of around crypto. So what are you guys waiting for? Go and sign up utilizing my link down in the description below and have a good time trading. But let's talk about what's happening because we just got the big news from Hong Kong, right? They're saying that they will issue more crypto exchange licenses by the end of 2024. They're going all in on crypto. They're setting the stage for crypto to explode. Q4 of this year into Q1, where we're already, almost in the stage where you really should start preparing yourselves for taking profits. But, Q4 so far has been pretty good. Q1 of 2025 is when you really need to start preparing. Over here, we have Vanek predicts Bitcoin will be worth $3 million and used as a global reserve asset by 2050. They are already preparing the sheep for slaughter. But this is throwing the bait out there, trying to get the retail flock back into crypto. Check this out.
We have a model that assumes that by 2050, this is very long term, that Bitcoin becomes a reserve asset that's used in global trade and held by global central banks at a very modest 2% weight. And in that model, we arrive at a $3 million price target for Bitcoin. Now, that sounds, extreme, but that's a 16% compound annual growth rate for a couple decades. That's not really that extreme. So into the millions over the medium term is a high conviction call.
So like I said, they're throwing the bait out there, waiting for the fish to bite. Bitcoin to be worth over $3 million and used as a global reserve asset by 2050. That is just insane to me. But also over here, Vanek, 3 of the 6 new members of BRICS, the UAE, Argentina, and Ethiopia are mining Bitcoin with government resources. Russia's sovereign wealth fund is investing in Bitcoin mining throughout BRICS countries with the goal of settling global trade in Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's a non-U.S. asset. It's an emerging markets asset. And while we were all hyperventilating about the election over the last week, BRICS had a conference in Russia. There's 6 new members of BRICS this year. So BRICS GDP is now greater than the combined GDP of G7. Of the 6 new members, 3 of them, Argentina, the UAE, and Ethiopia, are now mining Bitcoin with government resources. So there is tremendous urgency outside of the U.S. to find a way to circumvent the irresponsible fiscal policy that we've been running here in the U.S. In fact, Russia announced an initiative. Their sovereign wealth fund is going to invest in a regional initiative to build Bitcoin mining and AI infrastructure throughout BRICS with an idea of settling global trade in Bitcoin. So look, someday, I don't know if it's 5 years, 10 years, Putin's going to die. We're going to look to reintegrate some of these countries into the world financial system, and they're going to be trading with Bitcoin. What are we going to be doing?
Okay.
So again, you know, they're really pushing Bitcoin. They're pushing the Bitcoin narrative because they want the retail crowd to come back. Now that Bitcoin is so damn close to its actual all-time high, it feels as though the stage is set. Now, I also said over on X, we are very close to the violent moves of the cycle beginning. The landscape right now around the financial markets is ripe. Next week, we have the FOMC meeting combined with the election. Volatility is going to pick up heavily leading into next week, peaking sometime around November 4th through the 8th. I would begin preparing now, have some stable coins on the sidelines, but make sure that you have your bags packed because it's going to get interesting very fast. A very bullish storm is forming behind the financial markets leading into Q1 of 2025. Go back and look at the patterns of these markets pre and post election. Our time is coming and it's going to happen fast. Now, I want you guys to focus on this because if we go over here, this is the Bitcoin price during elections. Go back specifically to 2020 into 2021 and look at that chart. Yes, we already have that nice high from March put in this year. Then we were selling off into the summer, waiting for something to happen. And then look at the same exact pattern from 2020 into 2021, where we're just under the all-time high. We just go parabolic. That's exactly what's happening right now. We're just under the all-time high, and we're just waiting for that parabolic move to the upside. Now, yes, we do also have, right, because we have elections, we also have a ton of financial events happening the week of. Going all the way to November 4th, November 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Look at all of the big events, specifically the interest rate decision. And also, Fed Chair Powell is going to be talking on the 7th. I mean, this is 2 days after the election. So things are going to heat up heavily in the first half of November. And also, just want to give you guys another glimpse at the election. Here we also have another one. This is from May 30th, actually. It got posted by Charts Bitcoin. Look at the halving combined with the election. Go back to 2020. Look at 2020. Look at even back in 2016. The overall landscape here for crypto is so bullish for at least the next quarter. And as we look at Bitcoin, this is my chart for Bitcoin. It's a very easy chart to follow. It could not be any more clear. Okay. Going all the way back to March, the pattern was very bullish. All right. We have this nice low here. Then we have this high. This was a lower high. This is where it started in terms of the lows, right? Because the next low after that, and you could technically even talk about the middle of April, but I go back to the end of April because this is the significant low. Lower low. Another lower high. Another lower low. A lower high. Lower low. Lower high. And then all of a sudden, September 6th, everything changes. We backtest this downtrend going all the way back to March of 2024, this year. We get a higher low. Oh, everyone was still expecting significant lows to be ran, right? Sub 50K. All of a sudden we run up, we create a higher high. We're going off of the high from August here. Followed by another higher low. Then we get another higher high, but then also another higher low. And now we have another higher high here. But the big thing that I'm looking at on the 3-day chart is taking out the highs from March, getting a higher high 3-day candle close. We are 21 hours away from this, by the way. 21 hours away from seeing if we are going to have a 3-day candle body close over $71,710. That's how close we are to putting in a 3-day higher high candle body close. And I do think that from that point on, we look at the weekly, right? Because the weekly, we're already there. We're already at the point where we look at the weekly and we say, all right, well, is this it? And by the way, what I really want to see on this weekly candle, because we're 5 days out from the weekly candle close, I want to see something like we saw back in February. right? Because the pattern is also very similar here. We have that nice sell-off, January 22nd, the week of. We continue to pump. We have a little bit of, a stall, right? Boom. Massive weekly candle. We're talking about a weekly candle that was over 25%, almost 26%. If that is the case, if we put in a 25% candle, just for reference, we'll be at $85,000 on Bitcoin in 1 week. Now, is that going to happen? Who knows? It's something that is possible, but I want to see us blast through the $71,700 level to finally put in a higher high macro-wise, all-time high as well. We should be going into price discovery where this should lead us to the eventual top on Bitcoin, at least the initial top, right? And I say that because if we go all the way back, to 2021, for an example, we have this initial top here, followed by a massive sell-off fake out, and then we have another top. But I personally would be selling into that first top, depending, of course, on your risk appetite, and also depending on how much profit's there. But I'm looking at this on the 3-day. I'm even looking at it on the daily, right? Because if we do have a daily candle close, just well over, 73K, we're golden. I would like for us to clear the high completely, break 74,000, continue to 80K as well. But the overall structure here is what I want you all to study and focus on. This is how you can see if something is bullish or not. When it starts creating higher lows and higher highs, there is no denying that it is bullish. Now, what about altcoins? Yeah, we're still looking into Bitcoin dominance. This thing is still in this massive uptrend wedge going all the way back to 2022, and it's weakening, right? The momentum is dying out a little bit. We probably chop in here a little bit more, getting up into this like 60% zone, but then I do expect us to start to sell off. That is when altcoins are going to go parabolic. And I don't think that we have much time left on this. I would argue that by the end of this quarter into quarter one of 2025, altcoins should be on an absolute tear. And I want you guys to understand that this is the melt up phase. It's something that I outlined back in the middle of October this month. I said this market along with stocks will melt up. It just makes sense comparing it to previous time periods where we were facing a macroeconomic storm as we are now. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to tell that we are going to be facing a serious problem in 2025, 2026. Just take a look at what's happening now. And these were the breakdowns, right? I said over 500 billion was added to the US debt in only a few days. Bank of America is now warning that treasuries are at risk because of the debt crisis. US mortgage applications have dropped by 17% in the last 7 days. Mortgage rates have increased for the third straight week, even after the Fed rate cuts. Mortgage demand index is down roughly 60% at the lowest level in almost 30 years. Credit card debt is now hitting 1.14 trillion, while the average household debt held is now over $104,000. Core CPI inflation rose 3.3% in September, which was the first increase since March of 2023. Inflation is back big. Stocks hitting all-time highs, but most are flat, while the only big performers are the Mag 7. Gold has been surging, which typically happens at times of panic or when retail is fleeing into safe assets. I could list many other signals of a storm coming in the next 12 to 24 months. The main thing to focus on is how markets react at leading into significant financial crises. Markets tend to melt up, aka what we are starting to witness now in crypto, which causes the big FOMO event to happen, where the majority get trapped and then wiped out. I foresee this happening again as everyone is still blindsided by the warning signs. It's election year, and we're on the edge right now of a big event while debt is surging and markets are looking a bit more bullish. I don't think we have much time left until the melt up officially happens, and it won't last as long as most anticipate. The number one thing to focus on is securing profits when we really start to move violently, because just as fast as we melt up is just as fast as we will melt down. And I want to reiterate what I said back in August. I said that the next wave in this market should technically be the last wave of the cycle. It should take us to around quarter one of 2025. The latest, and that should be our top. Regardless of timeframes and or targets, the only indicator of a top is euphoria hitting the markets. When you feel like taking screenshots, start taking profits. And I reiterated this today. I said I still think that we top earlier than most people think. My best guess, quarter one 2025. like I said back in August, time frame doesn't matter at this moment, but the thing to focus on is once we see euphoria hitting this market, you need to start being cautious. So I just want you guys to understand that, right? We have a few targets still left on Bitcoin. Overall structure has been very bullish. I'm very happy about this. Love to finally see something happening in this space. For those that are sitting on altcoins that, are waiting for big moves to happen, don't worry, right? We have yet to see Bitcoin dominance break down yet, but I do believe that we are going to start to see that happening very, very soon. When you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, this thing is squeezing to the upside, just waiting for that big break to the downside. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.